Okay, so Temur Urza. I actually was not playing much Modern when this deck was like the scourge of the format, so to speak. So when Oko and Mox Amber were legal, this archetype was widely considered the best deck in the format. It's still been putting up a number of results since then. So the core of this deck, for those not familiar, is we have Urza, Lord High Artificer here, which says make a colorless artifact token with power and toughness equal to the number of total artifacts you control. Then you can tap an artifact for a blue mana, and you can pay 5, shuffle your library, exile the top card. Until the end of turn, you can play that card without paying its mana cost. It's basically kind of like pay 5, draw a card that you have to play right away. So this card generates mana, it generates board presence, it generates card advantage. Just very powerful card overall. Past that, we are a control deck here, so we've got Cryptic Commands, we've got Metallic Rebukes, Archmage's Charms, we got some Galvanic Blasts here as a Scourge of Interaction, we got some Ice-Fang Coatls. It's just one of the best snow cards around. This is easily one of the best snow payoffs. We also have here what is arguably the best piece of card advantage printed into Magic in recent memory, Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. And then we've got a smattering of mana dorks here to play our kind of more expensive cards out ahead of curve. Gilded Goose also serves as an avenue of making extra artifacts. So especially when paired with Lord High Artificer, Gilded Goose can basically make mana dorks every turn. You pay 2, you make a food, and then that food can tap for mana with Urza. So let's go ahead and pop on into a constructed league with this one and see how it goes. Just to highlight Magic Online and the tournament structure, like, you pop on it, for people that aren't familiar with Magic Online and, like, how much Arena is lacking compared in terms of competitive play. Like, look at every one of these is a competitive Modern tournament. Every one of these. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I load up the client, and on a random Thursday morning, there are 10 double-digit just Modern tournaments in here. And you could click through to most of these and find half a dozen Pioneer, almost half a dozen Legacy, heck, even almost half a dozen Standard events. Like, really hope we see Wizards prioritize getting consistent competitive play into Arena this year, especially with everything going on with COVID. I hope they look at their priorities and realign to getting a tournament. There's 10 to 15 for each format each week. Yeah, I believe that. That sounds about right. Was I scrolled down? Oh yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. There's actually just over a dozen. There's actually just like a dozen on each. You're right. I was totally scrolled down. That's hilarious. Yep. In a sad sort of way. Budgets are good, Beansy. Budgets are good. You don't have to do every fusion. You don't have to have all the things right away, I promise. Can I keep this? They should call us like cantrip travel because everything draws a card, right? Yeah, like, so like I only have one land, but like I have Astrolabe and Bauble, and I'm on the draw. You're within your budget, you just spent your load. Sorry, that's fair. That's fair. It is always a little bit sad when you like run out. I got a little bit of allowance left for the month still. Waiting to see what I want to do with it. We could Bauble to see if we have a land with the fetch 2. Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, let's keep it. YOLO. Alex White is Fire. Thank you for the quarter view. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, an actual spectator mode would be great too. Perfect. Never didn't have it, chat. I saw the Red Bull tournament is having coverage on Twitch this weekend, and I'm interested to see what they end up doing. If they're going to be, yep, that's exactly what we want. Interested to see if they're having, like, people stream to Twitch, if they're broadcasting Discord matches like we do for the Hoaglandia Open. I didn't see anything about screen sharing on there. I think anybody in the US playing the Red Bull thing's kind of crazy. There's like 4,000 people signed up. Only 8 of them get prizes. Waking up at 3 a.m. for that seems like some nonsense. Feel like your expected value of finding other random tournaments to play on Melee is a lot higher. This thing only needs 3 other snow permanents, so it'll have Death Touch on turn 2. Seems good. Yeah, but like the Mythic Invitational Qualifier is an asynchronous tournament. Like, if the Red Bull, like that would actually be the biggest game. Like, if the Red Bull tournament is an asynchronous, if the Red Bull tournament was like an asynchronous tournament, it would be huge. It would be a really, really big deal. Like, if when Arena comes out with a tournament mode, if they give you the option to run some asynchronous tournaments, that would be awesome. Pillage, destroying my Astrolabe, pitching Simian Spirit Guide. Listen, opponent, you need to get some help. I don't know who hurt you, but, you know, thanks for destroying my Astrolabe and not my land, I guess. That's an interesting decision. Can you explain asynchronous tournaments? So, you just play at your own pace, and you play at your own pace. That's the TLDR. You play asynchronous means not all players play at the same time. So, like, for the tournament on Saturday that I'm playing in for the MCQ, yeah, all your tournament matches are on demand. The queue for the tournament opens at a certain time and closes at a certain time, and everybody can just play their matches whenever they want, and there's just a certain record you have to achieve. Yeah, we played Mardu Nights yesterday, and it was like, to set an incredibly low bar, we played Mardu Nights yesterday, and I didn't feel like punching my monitor after playing it for an hour. So, we're going to register that for the tournament and call it a day. How many Yorion? We played against one Yorion deck. I don't think we played against Luke at all. I don't know. Like I've frequently said on stream, playing random ladder matches is not good testing. So, I don't feel like I need to hold up Cryptic Command here. Especially if I fetch some basic islands out, in case they're a Blood Moon deck. I think I'm just going to go ahead and play the Uro here. I feel like Blood Moon's the most punishing thing they could do. Yeah, Call the Death Dweller was on my short list of cards to consider playing. What's an optimal way to test the deck for a big tournament? In my opinion, optimal testing for tournament Magic looks like sitting down with someone else who you know is a good Magic player and playing exactly the matchups you care about playing. Playing a bunch of pre-board games and a bunch of post-board games and figuring out what's important. Figuring out what optimal board plans look like. Figuring out what optimal board plans look like against different variations of the popular decks and different sideboarding variations of those decks. It does not look like playing random matches against random players of varying caliber, many of whom are on decks that are not actually very good, which is what the latter comes down to. The gods, they are very angry. I think I'm fine with that. I'm just going to flash an Ice-Fang Coatl. All of the removal spells have killed cantrips so far. Yep, that's why I have 4 cards in my hand, and they have 2. And I still have my companion left over here, and I have an Uro in my bin. So I'm being pretty conservative since I have counterspells here, which I think is fine. Ain't that the truth, Punchworthy? Ain't that the truth? I'm the bad man. Do 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 do. That song is too recent for you. we've hummed that one before on stream. And then I get to play Urza out here, and then Urza plus yes, you've lightning helixed. You've lightning helixed my. It doesn't even feel like my opponent and I are playing the same format right now. It just genuinely does not feel like we're playing the same format. Make a food with the Gosling. We have Baleful Strix and Mind's Desire on a stick. Ain't that the truth? Alright, so we'll go make a food. And then we'll Urza diddle our artifacts and Metallic Rebuke them. $220 songs. I am an artiste, Marty. I am an artiste. I can escape Uro here. So I want to prioritize leaving in instants and sorceries, as well as artifacts that Emry can recast later. Oh, I should have tapped differently, because I could have left up Goose. But it's okay, because I drew Astrolabe here, which means I get to leave up Goose regardless. My lukewarm take is that this card is far more offensive than anything companions could ever dream of being. That's Hoagland's lukewarm take of the morning. Morning, Jonesy. Your board is all a year old except for Scalding Tarn. Yes. Yeah, that's accurate. That is accurate. So we Cryptic Command, whatever their clunky expensive play is this turn, and then we kill them next turn. Uro is a companion that gets to live in your graveyard instead of your sideboard. That's such an apt comparison. I like that. I like that comparison. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Aether Gust sound good here. I agree, Twister. And I think the biggest sign of that is, like, if you go back and look at how many Bloodbraid Elves and Jace the Mind Sculptors there were in format top 8s, like right after those cards were unbanned, and then like compare it to just a couple months later, like people just want to play with new cards, right? Like when there's a chance that these things could be really busted, they just like want to play with them a little bit, and that's completely understandable. Or I'd say Uro or Teferi is more offensive. I think Teferi's way more offensive than Uro. I think Uro's a card that's just really pushed. I think the play patterns that Teferi negates and what he generates is far more obnoxious than anything else. Yeah, Uro, comparing Uro to a commander because you get to recast him constantly is super apt. All right, what am I cutting here? I want to bring in these Aether Gusts. Is it just like Spellbomb? They didn't put any creatures into play. It's probably just Spellbomb. Is Uro the most played creature in Magic? I don't know. We also don't like have good stats. We don't have good stats for stuff like that offhand. I don't remember if I caught Charizard 6 months ago. If I didn't, welcome back, James. If I did, welcome back again. Yeah, this looks good. Sign me up. From what people have told me, Luris has served to make... From what people have told me, Luris has helped make Pioneer more fair, just like it's made Modern more fair. But I haven't played Pioneer to confirm that. The popularity of Pioneer on this channel fell straight off the face of the earth with the introduction of Theros. I think most of the people here correctly identified or like felt like I did, where like once they turned Pioneer into a combo fest like Modern can be a combo fest, what's the reason to play Pioneer rather than Modern? Like, it felt like they let Pioneer lose the identity that it had. Like, Pioneer was doing this unique thing. It was different. It was being managed. And then they just decided to just, like, throw it all out the second story window. That's not strictly true, Llama. Bant Yorion's been running around still with Agent of Treachery, and Uro's part of what powers Agent out in that deck. It's not quite as aggressive as... Unbanned Fields, you cowards, right? Karn, the Great Creator. Well, that's rough. I guess I'm just blowing this up in response. This turns off all of our artifacts. Unfortunately, we don't have a counterspell here. Oh, do you have a link to that offhand? I would love to tweet that, Green Sky. Can you show that for me? Mr. Lifeguard, thanks for the 27 months. Welcome back. I'm sure I could figure it out myself, but if you have a link offhand... Torpor Orb. Okay, well, since they showed us Torpor Orb, I'm gonna go ahead and wait to cast my Uro. Torpor Orb is, it's like Hushbringer. It stops managing the battlefield trigger. So it means once they put this into play, I get to just play Uro as a 6/6. 1 day closer to Historic Ladderback. Indeed, 1 week away from the Historic Ladderback, actually. Hey, Ice Boy. Now this one is scary. Liquid Metal Coating means they get to start killing my lands. Oh, it also means they get to Stone Ring me, right? Huh? Yeah, so I can respond. Do I want to play Ice-Fang or Cryptic Command? I guess I can play Ice-Fang out. What does Bouncing Karn accomplish? That just resets his loyalty. I think I just do this. I don't think we're 0% to win that game, but I think it's low enough that I'd like to move on to the next one. Do I want rejections for their cards and the stuff he finds? I feel like I might. We can steal their Liquid Metal Coating. No. Liquid Metal Coating costs 2. We've played a lot of Modern recently. Thank you very much. I think it's like our 4th or 5th league in the last month. Morning maple syrup. Sure. So I don't want to play this goose out because it's gonna get... I think I just pass here. I'm gonna pass here and then I'll end step the Ice-Fang. I don't want to play goose out into the anger of the gods. Maybe there's merit to playing the Astrolabe out this turn as opposed to the Ice-Fang because they keep putting Chalice on one. I don't have Engineered Explosives this time through. I could end up getting punished this. Here's an interesting question for you, Green Sky. Where on that map does Theros release? Do you know? It doesn't have good timelines on there. Where in that search trend does Theros release? They just linked to PNG German Space Ace, so you can't hover over anything. If they linked a non-PNG earlier, I missed it. Thanks, I'll have to play with that later. The only person Trump has hired who was actually qualified to do their job was Stormy Daniels. Now that's a quote. That right there. That right there is a quote. Theros released in late January, and by mid-March, the format interest had halved. Neat. So I think if they don't play something for us to counterspell here, I'm just going to go ahead and play Archmage's Charm. Is my plan. Get my divination on. Hey, Raul Weber. Thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Was an unnamed source in a Financial Times article saying that trying to advise Trump was like trying to bring fruits to the volcano. You're trying to appease a great force that's impervious to reason. Well, I mean, that describes his base, right? I mean, Trump has no reason to believe that he could ever possibly do anything wrong because he's rich, white, and male and has only ever failed upward, right? In his mind, I assume he thinks everything he thinks is correct because he's never faced repercussions for any of his actions ever in the entirety of his life. Failed upwards is a amazing term. It's a depressingly accurate term is what it is. It is a depressingly accurate term. You can't logic people out of a position they didn't logic themselves into. It's a good piece of life advice. Trump has never in his life uttered the words, "I'm sorry I was wrong about that. I'll try and do better next time." I would be surprised if those words have ever come out of that man's mouth. And regardless of what political party you think you affiliate with, if you don't think that's a problem, you're probably an awful human being. Human beings are flawed and everybody makes mistakes. Yes, yeah, so like this game's just super over, right? Like, if they don't have a way to kill Urza through my Metallic Rebuke, the game is just done. Urza's gonna sit here and draw extra cards every turn, and just gonna, like, further cement our lead. Also, like, I still have a companion over here, right? At some point, I'm gonna cast this and draw a bunch of cards. Lurker Gold, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. You're not wrong, Burgle. I don't know if you were here at the start of the league, but during game one, I commented that it felt like we were playing different formats. My opponent and I didn't feel like we were doing the same thing here. And again, just like, those are good examples of games where, like, both the games that I won were games where I was just playing an 80 card deck and my companion just didn't matter. Like, it never happened. My companion had no bearing on my ability to win that game. Hey, and MTG, thanks for the tip. And Lurgold, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Is there a comment with the tip? Let's take a peek. Donating for 4-color Yorion. Sounds good. I appreciate it. I'll get that added after I'm done today. That's another modern deck. Is that a modern deck or is it Pioneer? I'm gonna double check now. I think it was modern. It is modern. Yep. Oh no, I missed it. I don't follow too much Magic, but I genuinely appreciate how much Magic players have embraced Yorion. Thank God. Right? It's just like, you literally, like, so like I was playing, the first standard deck we're playing today, or the only standard deck we're playing today, like, didn't have Yorion in it, and it had a bunch of 2-ofs, and I was just like, alright, well, I'm just gonna play Yorion and, like, make all these cards 4-ofs. It's gonna be real easy. If you had an 81 card deck submission, the 4-color Vanafear deck, with this, does this surprise you, Burgo? The 4-color Vanafear deck today has 81 cards in it. Are you surprised? Are you surprised that the Vanafear deck... Nah, I like the record command to say it doesn't matter. That way it's applicable to Magic Arena too, because it really doesn't matter. I think I'm mulliganing this. Essien sounds great. Bottom the second Wrenn and Six. Humans. Okay, a little message here telling me my opponent has disconnected. All right. Something that I thought was a really interesting comment is that what if, and this is such a small change, and again makes me wonder, like, what does R&D's testing process looks like? What if Yorion and Laturi were the exact same cards, but their companion requirement was flipped? Think about that. What if Yorion and Laturi had the exact same text boxes, but their companion requirement was flipped? Surely it's Brad. Of course it is. Thanks for the Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Lab Rat, thanks for the 13 months. Like, Yorion's requirement overall is so much more forgiving than Laturi that makes you play Singleton. And Yorion's the more powerful companion overall. So it's so weird to me that they gave the easier requirement to the more powerful card. Because, like, Laturi is a more strict requirement and it's a weaker card overall. Hey, Blam Pirate, thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Let's get your sword to go with that shield. We are just a little over a week out from the third Hoaglandia Open, sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., who was just up there on the ticker. Shout outs to them. The opponent's companion. It is a 5/5 for 5 that says you can't play double colored things, basically. So you can't play cards that are like red in their converted mana cost. I would love another land. Play Birds of Paradise here. My 5-year-old Declan, he's 5 tomorrow. I'm just gonna get used to calling him my 5-year-old. He's excited. He likes Paper Mario, so I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the historic event next weekend. Sounds like excited to see what people do with the new cards. Excited to cover 12 rounds of Magic, 11 rounds of Magic, you know, whatever it ends up being. The open is full, by the way. We capped our 256 player event like 2.5 weeks out, which is awesome. Maybe post-child we'll talk about looking at ways to expand the series so more people can play each time. We'll also see, I also want to like see if we cap, I think if we cap 3 in a row, we're going to look at ways to possibly expand or do more of them, because that means interest is pretty high. Maybe I'll just rope Maddie into doing 2 a month. There's the issue with doing more of them too, though, is that like getting prize support for more of them could be an issue too. How big's the waitlist for next open? I think we only have like a dozen people on the waitlist. Yeah, my opponent's disconnected twice now. Hey, thanks for the biddies, D20 Bandit. We are getting him, there was a 4-player platforming Mario game, and we're going to pick up so we can all play that together. Yeah, that's a possibility too. I could add an entry fee on top of the sub. Could be a thing. Could also restrict it to like tier 2 subs. Like maybe that could be the big incentive to tier 2 sub. Yeah, it's like a $5 entry though, because like most of the people that are playing in it were already subbed, right? From a logistical perspective, having some nominal entry fee past a sub, such as like requiring a tier 2, could be reasonable. No, we're never going to do a tournament that's not on Magic Arena. The purpose of doing the event is to provide coverage, and most people don't want to watch Magic online. I think I'm just playing an island and passing, holding up Metallic Rebuke. So I think I play Wrenn and Six now, because I can still hold up Deprive. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I'm a big fan of having more data points, so I'm not even really gonna think about adjusting it if we don't cap a third one in a row. So we've capped 2 in a row now, it looks like, so we'll see what happens with the one after this, and then we can collect some data and rethink. I don't think MTG Melee supports requiring like a tier 2 sub either at the moment, so from a logistical perspective, that would be difficult. Hey, Geoff. Thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Does Melee support having a code to enter a tournament? Yeah, probably. There's still some logistical issues with that, though, right now. With these 80-card decks, not having to worry about having basics to fetch is really nice. My opponent did nothing and conceded. Alright. Some people were saying they think they're probably a song deck. Does the song deck utilize its graveyard? Do I want Tormod Crypt? If they're the song deck, does it utilize its graveyard? Yes, no, maybe. Not completely. I just probably just want Aether Gust. Hand's a little slow, but seems fine. Wrenn and Six means we make our land drops with the fetch lands. If they have a really fast 5/5, that could be bad for us. I have no idea, Time Lord. I've copy and pasted a deck list. As always, I would encourage you to create good discussions rather than expecting me to lecture you. So rather than saying, hey, Jeff, isn't this bad? Instead say, hey, Jeff, I don't think this is good for these reasons. Okay. Noxious Revival's really silly with this card, huh? Oh, Manamorphose. Oh, Manamorphose. Hey, puppy. Thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Did we die? Yeah, looks like it. I really just don't understand how my opponent was able to overcome our incredible card advantage, chat. I don't get it. How could they possibly have overcome the card advantage from my companion? Yeah, but they didn't use their companion. It didn't matter. Emry with Uro is so silly too. Gosh, that's silly. Alright, let's cycle Lonely Sandbar here. Huh? So 10 out of 10 just doing this, right? There's a storm of brewing, chat. There's a storm brewing. Huh. Really kind of needed to draw a counterspell there. Feels like there's a good chance we're dead here, huh? Man, not having another land here really sucks. I guess we'll start with this and see where we go. There's an on top of my deck. I'm going to fetch that away. If we draw a counterspell next turn, that would be ideal. Sick. All right. I think the Aether Gust actually puts us pretty far ahead. So I'm going to pick up Engineered Explosives here. Kill their Pentad Prism. Thanks for the 22 months, Fulgrim. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Okay, so I guess we're just bobbling myself again, huh? Do I Urza or do I Uro here? Probably Urza, right? Because Urza makes me more mana. And then we can Uro next turn and still have mana up to do plenty of stuff. Goose is actually free, right? Because it makes some mana. Yeah, we're drawing an extra card every turn and it has nothing to do with our companion. Although our companion's about to come down next turn and just completely mess them up. It just concedes to a counterspell. Sure, nice deck. Have we even put our companion on the stack yet in this set? We haven't, right? I haven't even cast it. We played 6 games and have yet to put the companion on the stack. Just to try and make sure I'm not misremembering. All right. What if we just raise the minimum number of cards for constructed Magic decks? What if we just made the minimum 80 cards? Could we just do that? What if we just do that? Would that make Magic a better game? And then to play Yorion, you have to play 100. Could you imagine the riots that would happen? Could you imagine the riots that would happen if they increased the minimum? I can't even. I would love it. I would love to hear them complain. Just burn it all to the ground, chat. Burn it all to the ground. Burn it to the ground. And you know what? This whole 80 card minimum thing could probably get some traction because we just tell the suits at WotC, listen, suits, what if we made everybody buy 33% more Magic cards? They would love it, chat. They would be like, yes, in, ship it. Yes, they are Luris burn. Sorry, I should pop those out. Listen, chat, some of us just want to watch the world burn, okay? Money, 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 money. Beep, beep, beep. Mill and Uro, please. Thank you. Gosh, where's my companion? Not you, Yorion. My real companion is Uro. Dougie, thanks for the 23 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Can you hear the storm down here?
I can hear the storm come in.
It's wicked.
Wicked, huh?
Is that thing supposed to be completely 100% quiet until it fills up?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a dream last night that you told me that it broke. So maybe I thought it was
Christy's paranoid about the sump pump. Hey, Drowning Cow, thanks for 25 months. Welcome back.
You're so pretty in your glasses.
Don't you think I'm pretty, chat? Find you a significant other who thinks you're pretty.
Only with the glasses, though.
Only with the glasses.
Can you scoot over so I can have some of the comfy mat? Thank you. Well, our sump pump broke last week or the week before. Was it last week?
Yeah, we had to have someone out to replace the sump in our basement. And thankfully, we found out the sump needed to be replaced without my basement flooding.
I mean, what would you have instead? Why would you not have a sump pump?
You guys have a sump pump in a modern built house.
What else would you have?
How else do you keep the water out of your home, Shadow Kid?
I don't get it. I thought all houses had them.
Houses with basements do.
Oh.
Some houses don't have basements.
That's fair. Like in Texas, you can't have houses with basements. Something about the land.
Yeah, for people that don't have basements, a sump pump is a thing in the basement of my home that when water would come into the home, it gets shuffled to the sump and then the sump pumps it out to the sewer. Because water, when it rains, goes into the ground, chat.
Wait, but our sump pumps are always a thing in houses with basements, right? Or is there some new technology I don't know about? Basements are the norm here. Like, it's weird to find a house that doesn't have... I don't know. They're just a thing here. I don't know.
I think we've died, Jet. I don't understand. I have my companion, and I'm going to die before I get to cast it.
So how... If you have a basement but no sump, how does your basement not flood when it rains?
Can't confirm. In Texas, we make our houses wider and bigger instead. So I assume we're dead here.
Oh, if it's built in a hill, that kind of makes sense. I don't know. I think they're super common here. Some pumps. I don't think ours fills that often. Has to be a really heavy rain. The never never.
Okay, so Weather the Storm in, Galvanic Blast in, Aether Gust in, this is probably an Emry out matchup. The card advantage from her doesn't really matter. Is it crazy to cut Cryptic Command here? Wrenn and Six probably is not good. Weather the Storm. Yeah, savor the flavor. There's currently a storm going on outside. I mean, the sumps are built with weather in mind, right? Like, not having a sump here would be ignoring the weather. It's also probably like I assume you could build basement foundations that don't need a sump, but it's probably more expensive, I would imagine.
Also, isn't our basement sunk more into the ground than most? Or is...
Yeah, I guess it depends on the basement too. And I think to be a basement
higher above, or is the basement higher above ground here?
Our house is 12 years old, right? 12 sounds right. Like 08, 7, 13.
But I don't know.
You can build foundations that don't need a sump, but they are both more expensive and not 100% reliable. Seems like a bad mix. Firm pass. Is it TV? Thank you for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Jacob asked me if it was a tornado storm, and I told him no, and he said, "Good, that would be bad."
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
You know how he always yells at me when I call him baby? Like,
yeah,
just because he's my baby. And say, sure, baby. Well, I caught myself the second time I said it today, and I said, okay, big kid, instead of okay, baby. And he said, you remembered this time? That means you're a good mom.
Well, don't forget. Don't be a bad mom. Again.
The kids are currently watching the same TV show in different rooms.
Sure. And by TV show, you mean they're watching someone play Minecraft, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes I wonder if my job has longevity to it, and then I see my 5 and 6 year old watching Minecraft videos on the internet, and it's like, yeah, this is gonna be the new norm. They cooked my goose, chat. My goose is cooked. They cooked my goose, honey.
Amazon Prime Video has hundreds of playthrough, basically like videos of Twitch streams for all kinds of games.
To be fair, it looked like they were YouTube videos originally.
Sure. Twitch, YouTube, what's the difference these days?
Wow. Wow, I am hurt. We watch Jeff. I don't really do Minecraft with them. We play like Lego games together. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You love to see it, chat. We're gonna weather this storm together. We're gonna weather.
That's so like
weather this storm together.
on theme.
It is. Then we said that a second ago, and you weren't paying attention.
Well, there's too much going on here.
There's too much going on. Welcome to my job.
The kids are adorable when they play Minecraft together. Until one of them uses TNT boxes on the other one's house.
I've been turning TNT off when I create worlds for them.
Yeah, but they keep asking me to turn it back on. And they both agree to turn it back on, so...
Feeling like we're pretty dead here. Which is impressive, considering we just gained 9.
Yeah, radon's a thing in where we live. I think when we were buying, the realtor said upwards of 40% of houses in our city and immediate area need radon mitigation. And yeah, we live on we live in a city and we get the fiber internet, but we're like if the city is here, we're like the very edge of it. Like there's just farmland behind us and more subdivisions eventually, but I mean, there's not, like, they're not doing all that pumping away of water or whatever.
So
I wouldn't think.
I think we Metallic Rebuke this Boros Charm. We have to take 2 to do it. But I think it's right. It's down to 14. We're taking 4 more down to 10. Playing Noble Hierarch here. Probably just cracking a food this turn. I guess we might Aether Gust.
What does food do?
You sacrifice it to gain 3 life.
Oh. That's themed correctly.
It's an artifact, though, which doesn't feel themed correctly.
I mean, maybe you can rehydrate it.
Yeah, just start blocking and muting people, Marty. My timeline's a lot better with all those idiots blocked and muted.
Do we not like companions?
No, companions are great. The internet doesn't like companions because they're salty little monsters.
I enjoy the salt.
Okay. Companions changed something about how Magic was played, so there was a lot of old men and women yelling at skies because the game is different now. It's not what they're used to, and changes evil. They improved Magic's mulligan system last year or the year before, and a lot of the same people who hate companions also hate the improved mulligan system.
Well, they're the same people who don't want us to have universal health care or reduced college tuition or free college tuition
Everybody
they paid
hates
for it.
Everybody hates change
Because they paid for it, so we should pay for it too.
It's good enough for their father and their father's father. It should be good enough for us.
Heaven forbid we advance as a society.
All right, so I think we're just gaining 3 here. I think we tap this, gain 3. While they can't skullcrack us. Man, this is going to be a game where we, like, finally cast our companions. Feels like it might be.
Are there a bunch of different artwork foods?
There are actually 3 or 4.
That would be cool. That would be perfect.
Oh, Jacob. Hey, don't you act like degrees aren't valuable. There was a toilet paper shortage recently.
Honey, didn't you start streaming when Declan was an infant?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Did you tell chat that he's gonna be 5 tomorrow?
He is gonna be 5, yep.
That's so long. Well, yeah, because you started streaming, like, for fun and irregularly and not talking and just dailies when Jacob was, like, 2 months old, so.
Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cast Yorion. Blink this, and this. And then once all of these come back in, Urza will give me enough mana to cast Cryptic Command here. Not quite enough mana to Cryptic Command and eat the food, but
Ooh,
call that good enough.
that was some lightning. Chat, can you hear the thunder? Did you see the lightning?
Thunder. Whoa, whoa.
Don't do that.
Do, 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 do. Feel the thunder, chat. Feel the thunder. Let it blow through you. Don't let it flow through you. That's probably dangerous.
Thunder's just sound.
I think I'd rather have the Bauble in play as an extra artifact / mana rather than an extra card in hand at this current point in time.
We're supposed to have storms through Sunday or Monday. I mean, it's not like we need to go anywhere, but...
That's not true. We have to get groceries tonight.
Yeah, but I don't have to get out of the car for that. You smell good.
Thanks. I try.
Do I smell good?
Yeah, you're passable. How do we feel about countering their spell, bouncing a land? I think I like it.
He smells good because I do his laundry.
It's like they're dead. They're dead next turn, right? So I just like want them to have fewer resources to work with. Okay, and now that was the easy game where we weathered the storm for 9. We were both on the play and had weathered the storm for 9. So I kind of assume we're just gonna get run down here in game 3.
Can we play a thunderstorm deck?
I already got the cue, my love. I don't even know what that would be. This isn't Pokemon.
How do I cut the line?
How do you cut the line? Don't do that.
We need lightning bolts. And give me some card names, chat.
I just had someone on Twitter who is now blocked tell me that companions are comparable to having whatever card is key to your strategy in your opening hand every game. These people really, like... Sometimes I forget how bad people are at critical thinking skills. It's like, it's been a long time since I've taught, but like, man, the type of people who can't like form their own constructive argument based on other information and extrapolate it's rough, chat. Life's a lot easier not engaging with them. Yikes.
Ugh.
I mean, I guess I'm keeping this, right? Could be anything, even a boat. So we'll do the Bauble trick with the fetch land to check the top card of our deck here before we decide what land we're playing on one. Are you tired, honey?
Always.
I think I'm in for engineered explosives. Any new board games? Nah, we haven't done board games in a long time.
You played some Swamp?
We did play some Swamp. You're not wrong. It's technically correct. Some Swamp is an arithmetic board game that Jake and Declan and I played together recently. Hey, look, there's someone in chat that's also played some Swamp. I think we're playing Lonely Sandbar here. If you have tiny children, Some Swamp is a game where you have swamp creatures on a board and there's 3 dice, and one of the die has a plus or a minus on it, and to figure out how far your characters move each turn, you roll both dice and then do the arithmetic operation with the 2 numbers presented. It is a game that some members of Twitch chat would be capable of playing.
Shots fired.
I think I'm actually more likely to live if I crack this and pass and plan to chump block with my goose here. I think there's a good chance we still die anyways. That's how this works, but... doing arithmetic sounds like nerd talk, and I'm no nerd.
Love you.
Love you too, babe.
You just tried to call me 2 names and you merged them.
Their companion's actually the reason they're gonna get us here, huh? Maybe they were out of gas without it? I don't know. Feel like that game's a good example of, you know, I had all this card advantage and it just didn't matter, right? Because I died with a bunch of cards in my hand. I mean, Luris is the reason they won. It's broken. Please ban it. It must be banned. Whee! 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 I think I'm leading on Astrolabe. Do 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 do. Our opponent's feeling a little infectious, chat. Maybe I'm supposed to play the Sandbar, actually. I don't know, I kind of want to hold up Metallic Rebuke. Hopefully we just hit an untapped land here. Pendelhaven's gross. No, it just means snow, party boss. Get a nice Uro rate. Yeah, that's a groundswell. We're likely just dead here. Nah, Seth's usually pretty critical of Wizards of the Coast. Goldfish still get some stuff because they're one of the biggest around. They're like, Goldfish is similar to Tolarian Community College in that they're too big to ignore outright. But, like, if you look at, like, invite lists to things, like, Seth doesn't get invited to things like Mythic Invitationals or stuff like that, no. So they still get preview cards because their site is huge, but they don't actually get things that are like worth actual money. This is again just not an Emry matchup. Too slow and clunky. Not sure about Metallic Rebuke. Our deck does not feel competitive against these good aggro decks. Preview cards drive traffic, making them like, not really. Like, I don't know. Like, as someone who's very active during every Magic preview season, I can probably count on one hand the number of times I've clicked through to an actual website that was given a preview. So, like, they're mostly whatever. On average, they're, like, pretty worthless. Not really. Listen, Rage, as someone who's in the industry, it does not have value. It really doesn't. The words that come to mind when someone says having my name out there has value are screw you, pay me. Did Seth Manfield start Goldfish? No, Saffron Olive's actual name is Seth. Which, again, telling people that distinction is one of the many reasons why my username places is Jeff Hoagland. People die of exposure. People get arrested because of exposure. It's just not a good scene, chat. Speaking of idiots and exposure, I feel like in a post-pandemic world, we should coordinate, like, flashing people who said it was against their freedoms to have to wear a mask. Because clearly they should be fine with people exposing themselves to them in every way, shape, and form. Because they wouldn't want to infringe on other people's freedoms, right? Yeah, we lost game 1. They're definitely infect. Infect is a perfect matchup for this conversation. Yep. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? This is not Mox Opal. It's going to take 2 here. The threat of blowing up explosives has value, while their only infect creature is a 2-drop. Am I bouncing something with this Spellbomb, or am I drawing a card? Probably waiting on... I don't understand your statement, Striderstone. Yeah, like, we played a bunch of cards, and none of them really did anything, right? I guess I could... Was I supposed to play Yorion there? Maybe I'm just supposed to play Yorion there. It's very possible. Are we going to try and kill me with Luris? Love it. No blocks. Go to 10. I didn't think I'd be eating these food against Infect, but you know, here we are. Urza would be absurd. Alright, so this Yorion turns our do nothing board into a do something board. Got some foods and some cards. I have Mox Amber to pop the Spellbomb. So I can't currently pop the explosives, but I can pop the Spellbomb. Yeah, Luris Recurring Rinker is sweet. For sure. All right. Well, rather than your dog crap theory, Striderstone, I'd encourage you to listen to the scientists and the economists, the economists. Reasonable economists in the current culture all pretty much line up and say that addressing the problem with the virus is the best thing to do for the economy. And then reasonable epidemiologists pretty much all say that social distancing and tracking and stay-home orders are important to keeping people alive. So if both groups of people are pretty much in agreement that this is the thing that should happen, it should probably be the thing that happens. Ooh, Ice-Fang's a good draw. As someone who's an industry expert in something as trivial as Magic the Gathering, and the number of people that refuse to defer to my expertise on subjects when I have a lot of experience with them, I can't even imagine how frustrating it has to be like a scientific expert and have random dirtbags on the internet telling you that you don't understand what you're talking about. It's got to be endlessly frustrating. It's very endlessly frustrating. I believe you, Burgle. Yeah, Blast is a very good draw, along with the Spellbomb in play. I'm going to bounce this in response. And then I'm going to Galv Blast it in response to their protection. Perfect. And then I've got Engineered Explosives here. Thanks to the 15 Months Lord spam a lot. Okay, so this lets me put Galv Blast on top of my deck. And then Mishra's Bauble lets me draw it. Well, I have two foods here, so the Noble Hierarchs aren't that big of a deal. The fact that my opponent's at 40, though, how did my opponent get to 40? Oh, right, discard lifelinks, right? Okay. What was the point in development where they were like, you know what this Luris card really needs? Lifelink. Lifelink is what it needs. Like, what was going on in their testing environment that, that was the decision? It's what ties it to being white. I mean, the white color identity also recasts things from the graveyard, right? All right, Ice-Fang Coatl. I believe in you, little snake. You and I, we're going places. This Gilded Goose is actually an incredibly good draw because it means we're far less likely to die to these stupid Noble Hierarchs by mistake. It's to make it worse in Death Shadow. And they say they don't think about non-rotating formats. Rancor is one of the 2 cards in their hand, right? If they Rancor here, do I just Aether Gust in response? I think so. We're Rancoring Noble Hierarch. Okay. I think I just Gust that one in response. And now Rancor actually goes to the graveyard this time because it never hit the battlefield. I think we're just gaining 6 here at end of turn. I mean, for people giving Questing Beast text crap in chat, I think Questing Beast very clearly had design goals that they had specific things they wanted Questing Beast to do. And honestly, I think to their credit, Questing Beast actually does the things they wanted it to do very well. I don't think I want to steal their infect creature if they have a pump spell that or a pump protection spell that ends up poorly for me. Do I draw 2 cards trying to find an Urza here? I don't have another Mystic Sanctuary. I only have 3. Couldn't fit a 4th one in. Ran out of deck slots. Should have played 81. Should have played 81. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, I think we're supposed to draw 2. Like, if we find an Urza or a Wrenn and Six, the game ends on the spot, right? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I forgot we had 4 Uros we were drawing to. Gonna be honest, forgot there were 4 Uros in my deck. Gonna be honest, forgot about the 4 Uros. There we go. You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. you should look on MTG Melee, Nocti. There's lots of other people that host tournaments on there. I'm just gonna play this out for one. Oh, I should have baubled myself. I had the fetch land, so missed a free scry there. That play pattern's not embedded in my brain yet. Any format I can play Lingering Souls. I mean, Lingering Souls is technically legal in this format. I don't know that you'll be excited to play it, but you technically can. I'll blow this up now. Choking them on mana in the early turns has a lot of value. Okay, cheeky. Am I dead? We could be dead next turn. Giver of Runes. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think we have to just do this and hope I get another turn, which is not likely. Because again, lots of Modern is not about card advantage like Companions generate. It's about killing people before they have a chance to use all their cards in hand. We're gonna probably about to die here before we ever get to use our 5th card, much less our 8th. And Giver would be a good add to Historic. I think it's fine. Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm going for an hour 45. I'm going to call it on this one. I usually shoot for hour and a half to 2 hours. This deck seemed fine. I don't know. Like, this... What's the best way to phrase this? This deck is Feel Smart Tron. Is Burgle still here? He'll appreciate that summary. This deck is Feel Smart Tron. We destroyed the crappy fair decks, and we struggled and were embarrassing against Burn and Infect. Like, this deck felt like Tron with Cryptic Command. Like, in terms of, like, what my matchups were, this deck, as constructed, did not seem particularly competitive against the aggressive decks. I feel like I would be surprised if I wanted to retool this and be better against aggro decks. I feel like the number one step is cutting Emry. This card is super slow and mopey in a deck that's already full of slow and mopey cards. And I feel like I just want more interaction. Like, put all these Galv Blasts in the main, probably have more removal past that. Like, but even then, I think you're still going to really struggle in the aggressive matchups. It seems like awful Bant Snowblade or Bant Uro. Yeah, that's probably a good comparison. You'd rather just be a deck that has 4 Path to Exiles. So you have more interaction. So you have 4 Path and 4 Ice-Fang. And then you have Uro to stabilize. And you're still like a Cryptic Command Mystic Sanctuary deck. Hey, stay safe, card. Hopefully see you in a few. The games are kind of fun, you know? Beating people up that don't have a chance is kind of fun, but yeah. So I think overall this one felt kind of underwhelming, and I think the Bant variations are probably the better direction to move in overall. All right, what are we doing? We're going to pivot into some Magic Arena for the rest of today. We're going to kick things off with some Standard. We're going to play some 4-color elementals there to start. And then we're going to roll on into Historic for the rest of the day. Don't go anywhere, folks. Thanks for hanging out. Be back in a few.